Hi, I'm Melanee from Los Alamos County Council. I'm here to give a summary of our meeting on May 16th, which was last night. So I'll just go through some of the highlights that might be of most interest to the public. We gave a proclamation for Emergency Services Week. So please recognize all the hard work that all our emergency service personnel do. Give them some thanks if you can, and remind them how much we appreciate them. We had a discussion about feeding wildlife in Los Alamos. We had Dr. Ramsey, Dr. Ellen Crockett, and Officer Paraglio. I hope I pronounced her name right. She's from the Forest Service, to talk about some of the issues that we're having in Los Alamos and their encouragement to try to refrain from feeding wildlife. I think that they're mostly focused on us feeding deer, raccoon, and coyotes even, but what that is doing is that is causing more attraction of mountain lions. We actually had a mountain lion that got a deer and deposited that deer on somebody's property in their backyard so that they could come back later to feed on it. This is not the only incident that has happened. So there are a number of things that can be not only dangerous to yourself and your family, but to your neighbors. So I please urge on behalf of our professionals to not feed the wildlife. The next subject that we talked about was a briefing by Scott Scanlon, who is a lobbyist for Los Alamos County, and he basically gave an overview of the 2023 legislative session. Los Alamos County received $7 million for a water line project for the wildfire prevention project. That's up to the Pajarito Mountain Reservoir. In addition, there was some money that was reauthorized for housing. There was an extension of the appropriation of those funds for a couple of years. We had House Bill 160 passed and signed by the governor for broadband. And our New Mexico representative, Chris Chandler, was appointed to chair of the House Judiciary Committee. And also New Mexico Senator Gonzalez was appointed to the chair of Senate Finance Committee. In addition, we had a presentation from our Transportation Board. Michael Delesi, I'm hoping I pronounced his name right as well. He's the vice chair of the Transportation Board. He did mention that we have an annual Bike to Work event tomorrow, or actually that's today. So I hope everybody can get on their bike and ride. If you haven't ridden to work, maybe just take a cruise around your neighborhood. The other thing that he mentioned was that recruitment is continuing to be challenging for our bus routes, which impacts how many routes are available and the frequency of those routes. Then we had a presentation from Chief Hughes and Chief Cerna on the wildland fire preparedness for Los Alamos County. And basically they gave us the Los Alamos Fire Department Wildland Fleet report. The good news is that fire potential this year is below average for northern New Mexico, and that was a report from the National Interagency Fire Center. So another thing that is going on right now is customizing and revising the Ready, Set, Go strategy for fire readiness and evacuation based on experiences that we had last year. We have some mitigation projects going on, and one of the items was ongoing maintenance that is scheduled, which could include robotic mastication and maybe even some goats. We then had a presentation for the 20th Street and Trinity Visioning Project. Dan Ungerleider and Sobia Sayeda, as well as Noah Burke, who is a consultant, presented information on the visioning for that project and mentioned that there's a town hall. There are actually going to be a couple of town hall meetings for this visioning, and they will start in June, so please stay tuned for that. That's about it for our meeting last night. Some of the highlights. We actually were able to finish up at 9 o'clock, which is much shorter than what we've experienced in previous meetings lately. So we still covered a lot of information. This was a working session, and so that, you know, we didn't really have votes, but there was a lot of discussion, and I highly recommend, if you're interested in more information on any of these topics, to please look at the video that will be available through Legistar on Los Alamos County calendar. Okay, so thanks again. Have a great day, and see you next time.